Welcome to Kick 'Em in the Head, a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews with some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. I'm your host, Yaw. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and gaining insights into what it takes to succeed in the toughest sport on earth.
Shaheed.
Ooh,
How are you today?
I'm good because we live in the studio, baby.
Yes, we are back to the studio
Guys.
after a week away.
Yo, guys, I love it. I love being here. I love chatting MMA. It's awesome.
As usual, jam-packed MMA. Love it.
Always.
First thing we're talking about is UFC Fight Night, Holloway versus the Korean Zombie.
That was a tearjerker, man. If people want to say that there is no emotional value in MMA, watch the Korean Zombie story and watch him retire. You will cry like a baby. It was sad.
In your head,
In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie.
Yeah, so the Korean Zombie retired this past weekend after an illustrious career with the first ever twister in the UFC.
Yes.
And like you said, it was a tearjerker. Everyone was really sad. Very few people had anything negative to say about him or his career. Obviously, when you do get to the end of your career, you normally do have a string of losses, of which he has struggled with a string of losses recently. But what a career.
Yeah. I think that zombie style of just walking forward, taking punishment, it was hard to watch him fight against Volkanovski. It was hard to watch him get knocked out by
Yair,
Yair.
with that elbow in the last second.
Ugh. And it was hard to watch him get knocked out by Max Holloway. And I'm just happy and hope he's healthy and staying healthy and has a lovely life going forward. He has contributed so much to Korean MMA, and I think he has laid a foundation for most of the Korean stars coming out into the UFC and other promotions internationally. I'd love to see a Korean star in the EFC, guys. That'd be awesome.
Another one, yes. Did I say another one? No, we don't have one.
Yeah, we'd love a Korean star in the EFC. Let's just put that out there. But yeah, guys, it's awesome.
Co-main event, Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Ryan Superman Spann.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming.
No.
I did not see that
I
one
was
coming.
calling for Smith to retire last week.
As well, man. I was firmly on board with Smith can just have a nap because, unfortunately, there is some kind of awkward energy that he's kind of displaying, right? It's like everybody in the light heavyweight division is kind of these very, like, bearish people. They're very chilled, very, like, nice. There's nobody, like, heated or whatever. And Anthony Lionheart is really, like, giving this heated energy. Yeah.
Heated vibes, yes.
Even him against Ryan Spann, the first one, it was like, yo, I want to kick you in the, after the fight, I was like, wow, man, you won, chill. And then what's that thing about Johnny Walker, right?
You're attacking my family.
What? But yeah, I think he's coming for something, man. And maybe he's coming for the title, finally. I mean, he fought John Jones. He is a veteran, and it might be cool to see him as the champion.
I mean, 37 wins, yes, 18 losses, but I mean, that's a veteran. That's someone, if he can string together a series of wins, definitely would have a title shot. And that's something that obviously he's been working for, is looking at a title shot. So after this win, and I mean, Spann was disappointed because it was a split decision, but a win's a win.
It is.
Giga Chikaze.
Giga.
No Giga kick this time, but he's back after 2 years, after his amazing, crazy fight with Calvin Kattar against Alex Bruce Lee Caceres. How did you find that fight?
It was good. It went the distance. You know what? It's hard to come off a 2-year layoff. We see it all the time in all these different sports here in South Africa, especially rugby. We see people broken arms, broken legs, and they take a little warm up to get to the point that they were before, to bring back that confidence, to bring back that energy that they once had. I think Giga is feeling that after his 2-year layoff, after not being able to contribute to his household, unfortunately, as an MMA fighter. And that's a big deal, is that if you don't fight, you don't get paid. And I think all those things played in his mind. And as he comes back into his stride, and we'll see the old Giga that we used to, and get the Giga kick.
Hopefully to the head. Rinya Nakamura versus Fernie Garcia. This was a decent fight. Rinya, I think he was a Contender Series alumni. He came to the UFC. This is, I think, his second fight. It was a phenomenal display. I watched the fight. It was a very, very good fight. He's someone that's looking like he's going to be a problem in the bantamweight division after a few fights.
The bantamweight division is a brilliant division. It's exciting. There's a lot of excitement. I think O'Malley is the perfect, right now for the division, he is the perfect catalyst for these exciting fighters to come out and show themselves to be different to the UFC mold. And maybe that's something we'll see. Maybe we'll see one of the first Japanese champions. That would be very interesting.
From the bantamweight division.
From the bantamweight division, yeah.
And moving to the women's flyweight division, the fight between Erin Blanchfield and Talia Santos.
I did think Erin needed to come and show herself. We're fighting for position now. We're fighting for who is going to be the next title shot. And for Erin, she definitely put up a hand. So we'll have to see what comes. But
she did call for a title shot.
Exactly. So we'll just have to see if she gets it. I mean, we'll just have to see. It's just one of those things.
You don't seem too enthused by her performance at this fight night.
Man, I decisions, man. Decisions. I like clean cut fights. I like knowing who won all the time. I like finishes, man. I like finishes. Let's just leave it at that.
Fights need to be finished. That's it.
Yeah, fights need to be finished.
Speaking of finishing fights, Cyril Gane, Sergey Spivak. That's going to be a heavy hitting fight. Heavyweight bout. We haven't had one of those in a while.
You used, like a
2 versus 7.
No, but that's the thing about another big star power coming into a division, John Jones, breathing this life into this division. Now you've got Gaines, you've got Tuivasa, you've got big names coming into the heavyweight division and really breathing a life into it that shows like, wow, there's these big guys that can move, that are entertaining, and that we can actually root for. It's like when I first watched MMA, one of the very, very first fighters that caught my attention was Alistair Overeem.
Mm-hmm. The Reem!
Alistair Big Trucker Reem, man. Wow! I didn't understand divisions back then. I didn't understand weight classes. I just thought that this man must be the champion of the entire universe. Because he is huge.
The physique on that man.
It's insane. And when I look at Cyril Gaines, when I look at John Jones, when I look at Tuivasa, they are that energy. They are that guy. They are the guys that will bring people into MMA just by the size of them. Seeing Cyril Gaines stand on a fucking scale and just flex is like inspirational, man. It's like, is that what you look like when you go Super Saiyan? Holy duck.
For you, what happens after that fight? Gain wins. He's number 2. Who does he fight next?
We can't have Gain Tuivasa again, right? Not so close after the last one. And that was an incredible strike slugfest, man. That fight, that replay of Tuivasa's over, it gets me every time. The fact that he didn't go down after being hit so hard by flippin' Cyril, it is insane. And he's fighting in UFC 3, I think, as well.
Yes.
So
versus Pavlovich.
So that
No, he fought versus Pavlovich. Sorry.
so that could be the opener to the second round. You know what I mean? And then the next number 2. And unfortunately, there aren't big headliner names in the heavyweight division. We're starting to see them come out. We're starting to see this amazing pedigree of big dudes come out. And right now, we know the Tuivasus, we know the Gaines, but we don't know the Spiroviches. We don't know the Sergeys. We don't know these guys. And as our pedigree grows and understanding grows of the heavyweight division, thanks to John Jones, it will be insane to see what they start slanging, man.
Women's flyweight bout, Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. Manon Fiorot, former EFC flyweight women's champion, in the co-main, UFC Paris. Very exciting. Versus the former women's strawweight champion, Rose Namajunas.
I think something we need to mention talking about Manon is that MMA in 2016 wasn't legal in France, in Paris. The big thing is she had to come to the EFC, to South Africa, to come and fight, to pursue her dream of being an MMA fighter. And to see that the UFC was an integral part of her getting into the EFC was an integral part of getting her into the UFC. And it is amazing to see the paths that can be forged for our fighters here at home to get into the UFC. And it's just big ups to her.
Hats off.
Unfortunately, I've got a huge crush on Rose, so I want Rose to win. Yeah.
So Manon is 10-1. That's a very good record.
Yes.
Rose is 12-5.
Yeah, so Rose, I don't know, it's going to be an interesting fight. I think Rose has it on the feet, Manon has it on the ground. If it goes to ground, unfortunately, it's going to be the French flag waving high.
In Paris.
In Paris.
Okay.
And we're going to have to see if Rose is back in form. Because sometimes she loses it, sometimes she comes back in hard, and we'll just have to see if this is what she wants to do. Because we saw that time when she was the champion that she actually didn't really want to be the champion. And if is being in MMA what she wants to do, maybe she can go be in movies. I'd watch her in movies. I'd watch that movie, Rose. I'd watch it. I'd be a part of it if there's a piece for me in it as an extra. You know what I mean?
Extra, gotcha.
Yeah, it's an action movie, man. I don't know. Take your mind out of the gutter. But definitely, I think that if her mind's in it, it'll be a big fight. If she doesn't want to be there, it will show.
Well, the next fight, which is very interesting, is Volkan Ozdemir versus Bogdan Guskov.
Bogdan and Ozdemir.
It's an interesting fight because Bogdan is in a UFC debut against a number 9 ranked light heavyweight. Very interesting.
Volkan has been on a layoff for a very long time, I think. I don't know whether he's been shooting movies, if he's been doing things, because we've seen him fight against huge names in the division. Daniel Cormier, Ankalaev, and there was another one. There was somebody else. I can't remember at the moment, but we do know he has fought some big veteran names in the sport. And it's very interesting to see him come, and maybe is this a bit of a give me fight to get him back into stride, to maybe get him where he needs to be as a ranked fighter, or could this be the chopping block?
I don't know if it's a late call for the other fighter, but if you look at, for example, the Bo Nickel fight versus Val Woodburn, where it was Val's UFC debut, and he was fed to the wolves. He didn't even have a team that came with him. He traveled alone, etc., etc. So maybe it's another one of those situations, because I don't know how someone who doesn't even have a picture on the UFC website is fighting the number 9 ranked. His record's good, 14-2. Okay, cool. So he's a fighter, but okay.
You know what, Bogdan?
Well done, bro.
I've got a feeling Bogdan will do big thing. Don't worry, Bogdan. We're with you here in heart and mind all time.
He might just be my fighter of the week. just for that achievement. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, she is, man. But before we get to fight of the week,
UAEW 43 this past weekend.
woo!
Now, this is a promotion that we haven't talked about before, but it's interesting because the EFC welterweight champion, the current EFC welterweight champion, Mark Hume, was fighting at this event.
Wow. I did see something about that, and I did see he got the win. That is always the case. I don't like to see losers, guys. No, I'm joking. I am completely and utterly joking. I support. It is awesome to see the South African flag being waved high in the United Arab Emirates, right?
Yes.
It's very awesome, man.
Yes.
In the sand there, you see the South African flag. It's just chilling. Held by, what is Mark's monicum? The Frankenstein.
Yes.
Frankenstein Mark Hume. Perfect person to be standing in the middle of the desert holding up the South African flag. Well done. And it just shows that there's always opportunities for our fighters, because fighters are free agents at the end of the day. And it's lovely that the EFC, not the UFC, the EFC gives them freedom to fight in these other promotions and actually earn more income to make the promotion stronger, because somebody like Mark winning there just makes the EFC look better.
Yeah. And over and above that, it shows the intent of South African fighters and the South African MMA industry, because now they're going out to try and get more wins, try and get higher profile fights in different organizations, which then shines the spotlight back home, and not only back home, but also on the fighters themselves, which gives them the opportunities to get into, for example, a UFC. Mark's record, I think, climbs to now 10-3. He wins a few more fights. He's suddenly sitting on 15. Okay, Mark, I'll give it to you. 15-3. Next thing, he gets the UFC call-up. So I think, especially what they're doing at Team CIT, because now we've got King Shaka trying to go for a double champion status by trying to challenge the winner of the EFC flyweight bout that's coming between Terence Balelo and Gift Walker. So,
and we know the only other male double champion in the EFC was,
as we love the drum,
Dricus du Plessis.
Yes, sir.
So there is a definite double champion UFC path. So, do you know that? Speaking of this, man, there's somebody that when we talk about titles and stuff like that, the flyweight division in the EFC, Cabeza, man. When is Cabeza going to like one championship, bellator, or like I want to see him kill people out there?
I need to see him beat international ass.
Yeah,
that's, I think, basically, and
give up the EFC title and let these young guys fight for it so you can earn that cash money, baby. But yeah, it's something that's been on my mind for a very long time. I love Cabeza. I love how dominant he is. Yeah. And I love his personality, man. The world needs to know this dude. The world needs to know how good he is. And the world needs to see him conquer. South Africa needs to see him conquer because he's awesome.
No, actually, we've seen him conquer.
Yes.
It's now time for the world to see him conquer.
Right.
Because I mean, he's been conquering. Smiley, we love you. But the title fight at EFC 107 is, as I said, Terence the Black Panther Balelo versus Gift the Day Walker.
Pedigree, bro.
4-0 versus 4-0. 1-0 Scotta.
Go!
What do you see happening in that fight? Because it's a hell of a fight that they've got coming.
Wow.
Thank you, Graham, by the way. That's an amazing fight.
Well done, Graham. Well done for finding these two amazing prospects, man. Wow. Either one of them have amazing star potential. Gift is a personality. Gift is somebody you're going to see on reality TV shows. I see him on MasterChef, tasting some little bits and saying, wow, this is incredible. He's just one of those dudes you can see everywhere. He is on SABC. He's just star power. And then you look at Terrence, the Black Panther Palelo, the way he comes in with his sunglasses. The energy and the arrogance of this dude, I love it. Yes, I love it. I love his I don't give a flip attitude. It is exactly what South African MMA needs. And because it gets everybody riled up. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it gets the energy going, gets the people going. And Gift...
It's provocative.
It's provocative. And with Gift, he offers this balance of like... It's almost like O'Malley versus... AJ. AJ is pedigree. AJ is class. AJ is a gentleman. O'Malley is raucous chaos. And that is what I see we have here. In guys that are truly pedigree.
Number 2 versus number 4, if you look at the SA Pro flyweights, Terrence is ranked number 4 and Gift is ranked number 2. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight. Not just will one of them be the title holder, but once you go top of the regional rankings, and this is as per Tapology, if anyone is interested.
Yeah, Tapology.
Wasn't Tapology. Once you go top of the regional rankings, that also then is a signal to say, listen, international promotions in this region, I'm the best. I'm there. I'm trying to be out there. And like you said, giving these fighters the exposure that they want, that they need. Interestingly enough, it's House of Tinkerbell versus Fighters Inc. Those are the 2 camps that are actually the 2 gyms that are then competing for the title.
I love
and
that,
House of Tinkerbell currently has a title.
House of Tinkerbell is JP Tinkerbell Kruger.
That's the one.
Love it.
So now they're going for another title if Gift wins.
So it's interim middleweight title. I think so. It's Gift, and then Peace. Peace was talking about Peace, man. He was talking about some other title situations out there. So maybe if Peace is coming for the welterweight strap, they're trying to challenge that CIT dominance of having all these titles. It's lovely to see the gyms, and I think we should definitely chat about where these guys come from more, man. It's lovely to see that information. It's lovely to know about it. And this card, again, Graham, man, heat. This is quite a heat card. There's quite a few fights I'm very keen to see.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, got a little background going there. Hey.
Thank you, promo video. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think not only getting a women's fight in 2 consecutive events, which hasn't happened for a while, which is very exciting. He's also got Malenga fighting again, which is Humphrey Malenga. Sensation fighting Tapio Katikati. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
Very exciting fight. We've got Barros versus Jacobs. Fazeev Jacobs, former champion from 4 years ago, hasn't fought in the EFC for 4 years. He's been doing international assignments out in UAEW. That's where he's been fighting. His last fight was there.
It's beautiful.
So, I mean, and then you got Okonya versus Mambo. Like, there's a lot of fights that are just tantalizing and then have very good implications for future fights and how the fighters in the EFC are developing.
Yes. It is, wow, it gives me goosebumps to think about how it's going to go down. Fayez Jacobs is, I think Fayez really set the playing field for a guy like Terrence to come into the EFC and do big things. It's almost like a handing over of torch. He's come in as the first mixed race, well, not the first mixed race, but one of the biggest mixed race stars in the EFC. And now he's on the same card as, I think, the next big mixed race star in the EFC, Terrence the Black Panther Palelo. I think he is going to destroy. I think it's going to be insane. And Cape Town MMA and what they're doing over there it's going to be beautiful. And I'd love to see them stand up. And yeah, Cape Town, man. But obviously, being from Joburg, I don't know, man. I don't know who I want to win. I just want to see a good fight.
You just want to see fire, flames.
I just want to see flames, man.
Yeah,
I just want to see striking pedigree. And
especially
both
for
these
two
guys can give.
young fighters. They're both 23, 24. That's the age to be a champion. If you're a champion at that age, you know that you're going to have a very long, successful career. Well, not wishing injuries on anyone.
Hey,
knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
with like you said, with the skill that they're showing, with the gyms that they're from, it definitely looks like they could have very good, successful careers out of the EFC, and that's something I'm definitely looking forward to as well.
Definitely.
The next thing we have that's exciting is Brave 74, Eliza Kubanza, head kick sensation from Brave 72 73 actually. That's why we're talking about Brave, to be honest with you, is because of his head kick. Eliza Kubanza. He does not have a moniker.
But Kubanza is such an awesome surname, man. Just want to shout it.
So I'm looking forward to his fight at Brave 74 out in France.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes, it is.
So
coming the 7th.
Brave and EFC are on the same night. So that is going to be an action-packed day of MMA.
Yep.
I'm going to be sitting watching EFC while watching Brave. It's going to be awesome.
Multi-devices.
Multitasking, multi-everything, man. Because we just love MMA, man.
And I think it goes back to what you're saying about France now embracing MMA to a level that's insane. But UFC 293, Adesanya versus Strickland out in Australia.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about switching tempos. The wholesomeness and energy that comes from the South African EFC to the UFC 293. Probably going to be the most raucous press conference we have seen, aside from the Russian press conferences where people get knocked the duck out.
Consistently.
There has been comments, memes, things going around of what Strickland would say if he became the champion. I commented, Strickland on the mic, it's going to be a sad night for all you cartoon jerking losers out there. But yeah, that's what I imagine Strickland would say if he won the title, because he's just nuts. Do you think that there's an opportunity for him to win?
Honestly, no. But at the end of the day, this is MMA. It's that simple. So, I mean, Leon, nobody thought he'd win.
Yeah.
Fine, he won twice. Sean, nobody thought he'd win. Who lost his title?
Connor. Didn't think they did. Jose Aldo didn't think he would win.
So if you look at it, it's always against a fighter that you're like, you know what, this guy's style has no ways that it can combat that guy's style.
Alex Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. To this day, I don't see how that fight. I don't see how Alex wins ever.
Yep.
He won 3 times.
Yep.
Convincingly.
Yep.
So we've seen Strickland train with Alex. Alex has beaten Israel. We've seen
that talk of death.
But he's also been training with Glover. Glover has his own gym now, training Alex, a variety of other fighters. But the thing that Glover did was beat Jan to become one of the oldest UFC champions. The way he did it was he used technique and tactic. If he can teach Sean Strickland technique and tactic, Israel could be in so much trouble.
Have you seen Strickland's sparring videos?
Yes, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Are you sure that he can be taught anything outside of what he knows?
If he wants to be a champion.
Fair enough. And I mean, I'm sure he's working hard.
So Adesanya's putting out a lot of videos about him, right?
Yeah. Do you think he's spending too much time on social media and not enough time training?
That's Adesanya's superpower.
Fair enough.
Is that he could probably tweet while sparring. And he'd be like on the phone, be like, just wait, yeah, Sean's a little... What? So I do not doubt the fact that Adesanya is training like a demon for this fight. It's not about Sean Strickland. It is about Duplessis. It is about legacy. It is about that Morne Visser has called out Eugene. We are awakening. Eugene, exactly. Eugene, Israel's coach, bro. They calling Eugene out. Eugene's standing there. He's like, I don't know what is going on here. I know my accents are horrible, guys. Please don't pay any attention to them. But
You did sound like an old British man.
but I think we're awakening a demon within Adesanya. And I don't think he looks past anyone. But nobody thought Sean was going to do what Sean did. And I'm talking about O'Malley. This could be another case of Sean. This could be the Sean. You know what I mean? Then next could be the Covington. And then we've got the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Although suffice to say, Dana wouldn't mind.
He wouldn't, because it would be insane for pay-per-view value for Strickland to win the title. Drickus comes in, beats Strickland for the title. All of a sudden, we've got Loftus-Versfeld, UFC,
Woo! I am
Adesanya Duplessis for the
I'm booking my tickets
UFC title.
Wow.
I could be talking bullshit, but this is MMA. This could be the storyline to having a UFC in South Africa. If Strickland wins, this could be South Africa's greatest situation.
World Cup 2010 in MMA terms.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. It could be the biggest fight in South African history. Sean Strickland, do it for South Africa. So Duplessis can come and kick your ass. Hey!
Taito Ivasa, Alexander Volkov.
That is actually going to be quite an exciting fight.
Number 6 versus number 9.
Alexander, when he had the stingray on his back,
Sorry.
when he had that stingray thing on his back, he's quite a striker, yo. And now he's done that whole tattoo change thing. I think he's got like a samurai or something,
I've seen Samurai.
ghost samurai thing on his back, and it's like a mood change for this homie. Like, he's really coming out for blood. He is coming to hurt people. And Tuivasa, I mean, we were just talking about him. He is that fighter that comes to fight. He comes, after the fight, he does his shoey, and it's all awesome. So I'd love to see Tuivasa get the shoey, but
Dwayne's shoey, because everyone's wearing
Dwayne's
shoes.
Dwayne's shoey. Do a Dwayne shoey. But how awesome is that for Tuivasa to be wearing shoes made by a Samoan. Samoan branded shoes. And I think it's really awesome, especially in Australia, Sydney. The vibe will be there. Izzy will bring an epic crowd, so the energy will definitely be there. And then we got some little guys fighting, going from the huge guys to the little guys.
Flyweights. Similar situation to Ozdemir that we just saw, where we've got Manuel Kape, number 10, fighting Felipe dos Santos, who the UFC shows to have no record and is on debut.
And Kape he's not an easy fight. He's
Okay.
I don't know Felipe dos Santos.
Nobody does. Not even the UFC does. Clearly.
I'm assuming he's from Brazil. I'm assuming he has amazing jiu-jitsu pedigree. I will also assume
that he has a weight and a height.
And I'm assuming, no, well, I'm going to go off what I know about Brazilian small fighters. They are electrifying, number one. They've got a pedigree of striking and jiu-jitsu. And it is a country where MMA has been prevalent for a very long time. So unfortunately, Felipe, we are searching you right now. We're gonna. Oh no, I know Felipe. What are you talking about? No, I know Felipe dos Santos.
70 no.
Yes, I know Felipe dos Santos. Yes, I was right. See, I didn't even see his face. I know Felipe. Felipe is good. This is gonna be a cracker fight, actually. What? This is gonna be a cracker. Yes. Yeah. No, that's a cracker fight. Sorry, Felipe. I think that's gonna be a cracker against a number 10 as your debut in the UFC. This is what we were talking about. The flyweight division. It's picking up. We're bringing in new blood to bring it in and make it cycle out, so we don't see what's his name? Brandon
Moreno fighting Davison Figueiredo for the fourth time.
For the fourth or fifth or sixth time.
Which is probably where it's going to go.
Exactly.
There's
so
no new blood.
We're bringing in new blood. Felipe dos Santos, that will be a cracker fight. And this flyweight title fight that we have in the EFC could also be contention for the guys coming in. They could be the next Dana White contenders, the next tough entries into the UFC. And I would love to see both of them succeed. Yeah, it would be beautiful, guys. It would be beautiful.
ConorMcGregor has finally, our favorite person on the show, has finally confirmed his fights.
Lou, put on the Irish music. I don't know Irish music, but I feel like
it's an Irish jig.
Yeah, the Irish jig, it should come on. Wow.
Lou's our producer.
Lou is our producer. He's awesome. Conor fighting. Wow.
December.
Do we believe it?
Despite USADA.
Do we believe it?
Despite USADA. Despite USADA?
Do we believe it?
Despite USADA. I don't think it's something that the UFC can do as a real fight, especially because Chandler, it wouldn't make sense for Chandler.
Yeah, the UFC, we'll see how big Conor is. We'll see how big his star power is. We'll see how much the UFC needs him as a star. Because if they do, Chandler, I think, will sign the contract no matter what. I think
it's the money.
Exactly. Henry Cejudo said it. We were all being saying it. Shit, I'd fight Conor McGregor right now for the money. Real talk.
Gonna give him a call.
I do it. Mommy, we rich, baby. Yeah, but for the money, Chandler should take that fight. If the UFC allows it to happen, we will understand that Conor can do no wrong. Conor is the main star of the UFC. And Dana White is saying he is, and he can do no wrong. And that would be amazing to see, because we always love to see Conor fight. And if he loses, we can kick him to the curb like a dirty dog.
But still talk about him.
Of course we can still talk about it.
Loss will live in infamy, but so would the win.
Exactly.
So the win.
A win would be electrifying. A win would solidify everybody saying, and we'd run around here like we told you so, we told you so, we told you so. But a loss wouldn't hurt, because a Conor fan's ego is so big, nothing can hurt it. It just needs to be said.
I agree. Nothing can hurt us.
Have you watched Conor on Instagram, by the way? Just talking about old Conor.
No, I have not.
There is the weirdest video going on. Wow!
What is
it? So he's riding on this bike, right? This exercise bike. And it's legitimately creepy, yo. And he's got on, like, I don't know if it's a Speedo or underwear or whatever. And then he's like sweating and he's like... and then the camera starts tilting down to his junk. And I was like, what is going on here? What is this? And then I just had to check how many views. It's got like 200,000 and 200 million views or something. And I was like, wow, this homie is content gold. So to see him fighting, content gold for the UFC, win or lose.
Realistically speaking, if one of us had to do that, we'd probably be committed to a mental institution.
Yeah, or banned from social media.
Yeah, he's pure gold.
He's pure gold.
The gold that Francis Ngannou went hunting for when he left the UFC.
Ooh, you mean the bag?
That he did not fumble. Yes, Francis, you did not fumble the bag. Well done, bro.
Yeah.
Well done.
Being, what is he now? PFL African president? The president of the PFL Africa. That's amazing. Did people think he was going to do that when he left? No. They all said, oh, you stupid, you should just do. That's not the way change works. That's not the way change happens. He is a patriarch for change, and he wants to see it. And I love that. Whether we're going to see it in our time, in our generation, I don't know. But I'd love to. I'd love to see it. And what he's doing for the sport is just as big as Conor fighting Floyd. And Tyson Fury, I think, in the stage he is now, it's scary, man. The skill level of that man against somebody, and against Francis Ngannou it's insane. What do you think?
I think that Tyson is on Ngannou's side. So Ngannou's going to punch a hole through Tyson.
Wow.
Sorry, that was a bit of a pun. So
yeah.
I don't know if you know, but Mike Tyson has been training Francis Ngannou for this fight against Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. And for me, that's very interesting because the comments from Mike Tyson basically say that Ngannou hits harder than anyone he's ever really seen. Like, Ngannou hits hard. And we all know that he hits as hard as a Ford Escort going at 120 k's an hour or something like that.
120 k's an hour? Isn't it 60?
No.
120
Ngannou's punch does not play.
120 k's an hour.
That's why he did this to Stipe, and Stipe melted.
That would destroy your body.
That's why Overeem's chin went to the sky and back. It hits hard.
Wow. I thought it was like 60 k's, bro.
I could be wrong. But he hits hard.
But even 60 kilometers an hour to hit, I think it's 100 miles.
100 miles per hour?
Yeah. I don't know.
Faster than kilometers.
Is that faster than kilometers? Okay, then I don't know.
Then 100 miles an hour, you're sitting on like 200 kilometers.
It's like the Flash punching you, bro.
Like being hit by a cricket ball.
Yeah.
Because they go in 120.
I've been hit by a cricket bat before. That's why I'm so weird.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that fight because I think Ngannou can do more than possibly what McGregor did. McGregor did amazing, especially for the profile. But because Ngannou's background is boxing, I feel he has a slight edge as to Conor's background, which was MMA, essentially.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think there might be a chance of potential upset. Very, very
Conor
small chance.
was actually a boxer in the beginning of his career, which I think just adds to your point of why they stood such a good stead of being the best crossovers into the boxing world. But he is fighting the Gypsy King, the man that took the punch of death and got up and won. We were talking about it and you said it, and it's something that I as a person didn't think about as a consummate MMA striker fan. And I always think, like, when somebody says, oh, what MMA fighter can cross up? Max Holloway. Max the damn Holloway. And even Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is a consummate stand-up.
I need more respect for Sean, to be honest with you. It's growing on me.
Yeah. But these are the strikers that I believe have pedigree enough to go into a boxing. I mean, if you look at Michael Perry and Chad Mendes, wow, those guys, what they're doing in bare knuckle and how they are performing, amazing. I think Chad has retired, but the way Perry is fighting, and I think Perry is going to fight against Till in a boxing match in the undercard of that KSI Fury, Danis,
I thought he was
Logan
the stand-in
Paul.
for Danis.
He was the stand-in for Danis. Now, if Danis comes, he will fight Till, apparently. I don't know.
Darren Till.
Yeah. This could be like Twitter bull dust, bro. But
Are they even the same weight class?
Yeah. Perry and Till. Have you never heard of the infamous Perry's Walter? Till started off in welterweight.
Then he went up to middle.
Yeah. Okay. And then he got knocked out by Masvidal, and then he went up to middleweight. There's this infamous sparring story about Darren Till and Michael Perry. They meet at this hotel, right? And then Perry's like, "You want to spar?" And then Darren Till's like, yeah, go for the spar, you know what I'm saying? Go sit in a steam room. and you know, he's got like a heavy Liverpool accent. So the interaction was really funny. Apparently, they went to go spar. One had a boxing glove. The other one had an MMA glove. Perry is a orthodox, Till is a southpaw. They put the boxing glove on their strong hand, the MMA glove on their weaker hand, and that's how they went. Apparently, it was the greatest slugfest ever. People say that Darren Till won, but if that is real, I would love to see a fight between the two. It has been a huge deal. I mean, those two have been fighting over social media for years. I mean, what were they Darren Till was saying stuff about Michael Perry's wife and all these things, man.
I didn't know they had beef.
Huge beef, dude. Huge beef, dude. Oh,
and it's time for
Fighter of the Week. It's time!
Who is your fighter of the week this week?
My fighter
Who is your fighter of the week this week, Shaheed?
My fighter of the week this week is Dustin the Diamond Poirier. The reason for this is what we do here at Kick Him in the Head with our charity and all that stuff is really inspired for me a lot by Dustin Poirier. I love his fight foundation and how he does different things to give back. He has given food parcels, he's built irrigation, he's built houses for people, he's sold his fight gear, all those sorts of things. And I think it's really inspirational to see somebody that's, I think, notably come from a very hard background of going to juvie and all those things, being pretty rough, something I can relate to as well as a person. And I think what he's doing is really been amazing. And if any fighters would like to maybe contribute some of their fight gear or something like that, we could run a similar drive. I think that would be awesome in the future. Dustin Poirier. Now, who is your fighter of the week?
So, unfortunately, mine's not as wholesome as yours. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I didn't know Dustin did all that. Reminds you of Temba Garimbo.
Yes.
Giving back to his community, putting up boreholes and everything. Mine is a head kick. In Thando the Zulu warrior Zondi, because of his beautiful head kick at the Last Versus event. And we've been looking for local head kicks. There aren't that many to find, and to have one as recently as now is phenomenal. So for me this week, he is my fighter of the week.
Let me just
Zulu warrior.
Let me just tell you why that is just as wholesome as Dustin. Because he is a prospect. He is coming out of Versus as the flyweight champion, hopefully starting his professional career very, very soon. So I think mentioning somebody like Zondi on the podcast to get him in, like, so people can know his name, know what he's doing, and how hard he is working to be a premium like Gift and Terrence.
Flyweight division, like you said, stacking, skills.
Exactly, and we're seeing people that we don't even know. In Felipe dos Santos, we do know him, but he's not widely known in the MMA community. Fighting a number 10 bantamweight, a number 10 flyweight.
Manel Cape.
In Cape. So there is very definitive paths for our flyweights to come in and fill those gaps because you can say their names way easier. Terrence the Black Panther Balelo, Gift the Day Walker, and now Ntando Zondi.
You got it. Well done. The Zulu Warrior.
The Zulu Warrior, Ntando Zondi. And I think that to bolster these young prospects out there and make sure that they get a seat at the table is just as wholesome as old Dustin Poirier handing out for charity.
I like your perspective. I really do. And one other thing that local fighters need is different types of competitions. Submission Kings, they're here.
Submission Kings, yeah. Submission Kings is, I think, South Africa's answer to get our fighters more money. In basic terms, to get fighters fighting as more as possible, to get the young guns into the professional promotions. Like we see, there's a title fight happening this week at 2 title fights happening this week at WTA, winner take all 7. So they've been going for a while. They've started a pedigree. They've started their own BJJ promotion. And hopefully, I think these are some of the first titles coming out. We see fighters like Edson, who is an EFC. He made his EFC debut. We see new fighters like Raymond Decut, who has fought and submitted Gift Walker. So
who's fighting the EFC title fight at EFC 107?
Yeah.
Flyweight title fight.
So it is a breeding ground for the prospects to see who the new guys are, to see can these guys... I'm very sure the EFC is watching the Submission Kings promotion very, very closely and seeing who are the new guys, who's got strength, who is bringing the energy. And yeah.
So we've got Submission Kings. We've also got Bare Knuckle now in SA as well.
Wow.
There's different sorts of combat sporting events and promotions that are coming up. How exciting is that for these fighters in terms of their flexibility into the types of competitions that they can go into? The English there, though.
I think it's just depending on how versatile they want to be. We've got fighters like Mark Hume, Frankenstein, who just fights and fights and fights and fights and fights. He jumps into different promotions. He's EFC champion right now. He was at AEW fighting. The biggest thing is that if you want to work, there is work out there for you. If you want to be versatile and fight in a Submission Kings and then go fight in the EFC and then jump into AEW, that's what we need from our fighters. We need a work ethic that is second to none to actually... MMA in South Africa is still underground. MMA is still seen as a fight club style situation.
Dirty sport.
Exactly.
Still looking for the right sort of profile.
Exactly. And with everybody's energy the way it is, we could be premium or we could be Bellator. That's what it is.
We could be EFC or we could be... We're not going to...
Yeah, we're not going to drop bad mouth anybody. But Bellator is a good promotion, but it is seen as the lower rung of promoting in terms of not having pedigree. We either can be a slugfest show for fighting, and yeah, maybe one of these guys might go to the UFC. Oh, great. Like Michael Venom Page being signed to the UFC, which is awesome. Michael Venom Page is of one of the highest calibers of strikers, and it'll be interesting to see what he does in the UFC.
And he apparently wants someone who's ranked top 5.
Yeah.
And right now, top 10. And right now, they're looking at Shafkat.
Oh, Joe.
That's going to be a fight.
Shafkat
And that's a
would
good way to introduce him to the UFC.
Yeah, I think Shafkat would destroy him. But I reserve the right to comment for now. Yeah, and those sorts of things is that we could be those people that send 1 or 2, or we could send 10.
Of the best.
Exactly. So
we're not just there to show up.
We are here to take over. And that's what I hope the brand of South African MMA is looking to do. And if our fighters can push the work ethic, I think we have an awesome opportunity to be noticed as some of the best in the world.
Kick him in the